Okay, how about first we talk about what's in our bikes if they're stock. So let's start with what would be 85 through 01. This is your swing arm shaft, all right? These are the parts that we replace. Here's your swing arm shaft, a stock swing arm shaft from, say, 89, 98, something in there. It's got a nut welded on one end. If you get in there, that's what you're going to find. Usually the nut's on the right-hand side. If you're sitting on the bike, the welded nut that you spin off is on the left-hand side. All right? You got a passenger floorboard bracket. This is the area we're talking about in here, okay? Passenger floorboard brackets right here. Swing arm shaft. Your swing arm shaft goes through your tranny. And your tranny goes through your transmission. And then your transmission and your swing arm and your engine, they're all one. Okay, as long as the ring through the tranny is not too worn, they're all pretty tight. And then that's rubber mounted in our motor with these two rear mounts, okay, and one front mount. All right? So that's what's going on. The unit's solid as it is. The problem is the way that it's all held into the bike. So once you get into this, our whole swing arm, okay, engine, transmission, is all held into our bike, literally, with this 1/4-inch lip. You see this on our donuts, that 1/4-inch lip, and there's our passenger floorboard bracket, just like so, okay? I'm serious, a 2.5-inch flat steel washer, 1/4-inch rubber lip, that's what's going into our bike, all right? So, again, older set, goes back to 85, I think, 86. The early ones actually had a screw together shaft, but shortly they went to this. Now, and then you got your donuts. Here's a late model setup. Okay, this bushing is in your swing arm, donuts against it. Got that little cupped washer. A lot of you guys call me, ask me if you're supposed to use that again. Get rid of those. Little cupped washer in there. It was actually something Harley was trying to step that off to try to fix this somewhat. Okay, and then goes into your floorboard bracket, just like so. So there's what you got. Transmissions around here, swing arms here. Okay? So you pull the brackets off. That's what's going on. Now I have about an 05 swing arm. Swing arms are pretty much the same from 02 to 08. This is a good swing arm. It's like a tank. You could drive a truck over it. It's not got any issues. A lot of these things that Harley's done to try to fix this issue, the handling problem, has helped. You know, they made a stronger swing arm. But if you talk to anybody who really, you know, everybody that's trying to resolve any kind of handling issue with these FLH and FXR frames knows that this is where the problem really is. It's a good swing arm, okay? It's got a nice, let's see if you can see this. You get a nice spherical bearing there, okay? Back up in there, you see? Back up in there. Nice spherical. Get your hand out of the way, Jake. And then you got a sleeve that goes through that necks that down to the size of the shaft, okay? And then, like I showed you a minute ago, you got that spacer that goes in there. Shaft comes through. This is a good unit. The older swing arms, the 01 and earlier swing arms, they're not quite as beefy. You know, we've done a lot of bikes. They come out just as good. I've seen a couple of older swing arms with some cracks. You might want to look for that, you know, if you're having a problem. But there's a company who makes a spherical bearing kit. Now, if you have the older swing arm, it's got these things. They call them cleave blocks in the manual. It's these things here. All right. As opposed to that bearing I showed you in the 05 swing arm, this is what's in there. Kind of a, I don't know what it was, vibration dampening, rubber, steel encased kind of bearing thing. All right. Now there's a company that makes a spherical bearing that fits in your older swing arm, retrofits your older swing arm. It's a pretty good way to go. We use that and with our kit often and get great results from that. Okay. So when you got your front motor mount, here's the 79-D version. All right, and it's pretty hard, guys. Works okay for some of you. Yeah, we get a lot of issues with that. That's one of the reasons we make. Now, earlier, the 79C-C, it was actually a pretty good mount. A lot of you know about them. They just didn't last real long, but they were good at vibration damping. And you know, they floated on this bushing in the middle. All right, yeah. Well, and eventually, you know, that all broke down, and then it wasn't working anymore correctly. It just was resting on the rubber, so they don't do as good a job then. So those will break down. So there's what you got in your bike. If you're stock, that's what you got in your bike. Most of you have probably upgraded to the D version mount in the front. 3/4 shaft if you're 02 through 08. 5/8 shaft in the older bikes. Okay? That's how that's going to go in. All right? We'll take just a short break, and then we'll show you what we got. In 03, I bought my Road King new. I haven't put a couple of things in it, 95-inch kit and stuff, before I brought it home. On the way home, I was really disappointed in the way it handled. A couple of weeks, I had it apart. I knew about the rears that Harley makes, the donuts, the way they make their donuts. I just didn't think it was going to be that way, but I was very sad. And so I started right away. I started reading. I mean, we all know urethane, you know, performance cars, dune buggies, trucks, whatever. You want to make it handle better. There's better ways than rubber. So I started researching urethane as much as I could. I made a little mold, made my own shaft down at the shop to replace theirs. Thought if we could get something in the center that would stabilize the shaft a little bit more in the center of the donut, that would stabilize the shaft, but still let the engine vibrate. You know, I knew I had a lot to learn. Poured mount. This is my very first set, okay, from 03. I rode with these, my wife and I, in fact, took a lot of long trips. Yeah, pretty worn, huh? Took a lot of long trips on these. We were both really happy with the way the bike handled. For a long time. I never really did this with the intent of selling it. I just wanted my bike to handle good. I wasn't out to try to satisfy or please really anybody else in their bikes. But a couple people, friends rode my bike. You know, they liked it, knew we had something. So we made some for theirs. So we made our second mold. All right. Milled that out. Cover plate for it. Then we started pouring more of our own bushings. Alright. Trying different stuff, different durometers. This is just, I have buckets full of bushings that we've made. Different durometers. Spot welded some washers on. I mean, we did a lot. Sleeved the insides so they would grip. Tried out with the first ones. Some of you guys have seen these. It was our first set when we sold them. Some of you had this, okay? Or some of you still got it, okay? Later we came out with this. All right, and then we got to where we had this, and it's always worked. I really don't have had many people call me, and hardly any at all that said, you know, my bike didn't handle better. Other issues, durability, not as smooth as I wanted the bikes to be all the time. And you guys know there's as many bikes as there are out there. There's that many different types of bikes out there between motors, what stuff people have done and all that. So anyway, you've seen the stock. I showed you stock earlier. So we got to this. And this was working pretty good. Some of you guys even may still have this. But we made our own bushing, fit inside. And we got it. You know, handling great. Again, some durability issues. A lot of that we came up against, I think, because of the offset. Harley, that's just evolved over the years from Harley. And then I don't think they ever wanted to step past it. It took a lot for me to say, okay, let's try getting rid of the offset and let's do something else. All right, so that's it. That's the real quick 8 years of what it took to get to here, okay? And then what I'm gonna set up here and I'll show you what we got now and what we're trying to do. Here's where we are today. So, we've come a long way. Now we got this. We take a solid piece of 2.5 inch round stock 303 stainless steel, okay? And we machine it into this washer and bushing, all one piece. Then we got a small mold and we pour this hard urethane ring. Then we drop the stainless steel piece and the hard ring into another mold. And in between that, we sandwich a softer urethane. See between it? So this isn't just a chunk of urethane, guys. Can you see here? You can kind of mush that a little. So this inside allows the motor to vibrate. The engineering. Nice machining, huh? 2/1000 tolerance. It's going nowhere, okay? You got here's your floorboard bracket. All right, here's a stock. Here's your floorboard. Here's a stock part, right? Stock shaft, bushing, stock floorboard bracket. Drop the notch. Here's what you got, guys. All right. You do this in your hand. There is no part of this that's tight. Now this is holding our whole bike together. Our whole swing arm, bike, us, whoever we got on the back, all our stuff and everything. All right. With ours, okay. You got this first. Now we go further in. See how far we go into the floorboard bracket? A 1/2 inch. Line that up. Okay. All right. I like that sound. It's not going anywhere anymore. You're right out to the flush to the end. You can still fit your caps on. You won't know that our part's in there by looking at your bike, just by riding it. So we've come a long way. We worked really hard to get to here. So you see what you got stock, and we kind of went ahead, since Harley was having some trouble, as I thought, with our motor mount. We started working on our own motor mount. Here's a stock bolt. Here's your stock motor mount bolt, okay, and hardware. Here's what you get with our set. Alright, 1/2 inch bolt. There's a 1/2 inch hole. You don't have to drill anything out on your bike. This bolt here, this bolt is going through the same hole that this bolt's going to go through. They got a 3/8 inch bolt going through a 1/2 inch hole in the front motor mount, right? So, it worked a lot to get there. A lot of different testing, just wall thickness on that little collar, just the wall thickness made a difference in how effective it was. So here's your replacement shaft for your, if you're a 01 or earlier. Here's your stock. Here's what we got. We're going to give you stainless steel washers. Point nut. Okay. I like those. They're really nice. They give you a little more clearance in the back. You'll see if you put it in. So that's our replacement part. So you get our set. You get 3 mounts. Okay. All 3 mounts. All the hardware. okay? Real quick, there's some other people out there, you know that. There's a couple of companies make a bushing like this, all right? You pop here. You take your floorboard bracket off. You get these. Get them in place. All right? Put your floorboard bracket on, back on. And that's what you get. They fill that void. I think some guys are making them out of urethane now. That's one way that tries to stop the problems, the same as we're doing. And then, of course, you got the bolt-on guys, and you guys know that. They're bolting something to something under here to your tranny. Trying to do the same thing, trying to keep our tranny from moving side to side. Now, you think about that. That's the only thing they do, okay? That's the only motion that stops. They're bolting the tranny in place, all right? So they're locking the tranny in place. They're only stopping with another Heim adjustment. They're only stopping this motion, all right? I actually don't even really think that's the major problem. I think the ability for your stock shaft, where are we at here? Here we go. For your stock shaft to actually do this. Okay, I mean, you can see it, man. This is, here you go, all right? Not going to happen. It's not going to do it. There's no side to side. We put just a little crush on it so you get no side to side motion. Once you got all this fit together, it's nowhere. It's pretty much, you're looking at a stainless steel urethane vibration damping encased bearing. Okay, when we're done. Then you get our front mount comes with it. We're getting really smooth running, good handling bikes. Okay, so that's what I got. That's what I've done to get to here. You guys take that, and if you got some questions, give me a call or email me. I'm sure you will. Okay, you have a good day.